This is the Codcast. All things Whitby Town FC.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition. I'm Andrew Snaith, and let's start by listening to the best moments from Friday night and the Yorkshire Coast Derby at Bridlington Town.
Throwing taken down the line, it's headed by Sterland and then infield by Lucas Reid for Dowson. Just takes it away from his man there. Nice ball there for Stan Hewitt. Hewitt in the penalty area, gets shot away, and there's 1-0. The Whitby has a lovely ball from Tommy Dowson. He held his man off well, slipped it through for Hewitt. He got into the penalty area and rifled it into the corner. 1-0 to Whitby Town. And all props as well to Tommy Dowson there for a fantastic assist.
Yeah, it was a great turn on the halfway line again, and it's a left-footed ball straight through, and the weight of the pass was probably the more impressive thing, and it just sat up between the defender and the keeper, and yeah, great finish from Stan as well.
2-2 for Stan Hewitt.
Goal kick taken by the Whitby trialist in goal, and the ball missed by the goalkeeper of Bridlington, and Rose has slipped it in after rounding him.
Yeah, great finish from Stuart Rose there. Played a lovely ball forward there. The keeper committed to it. The Bridlington Town tried his goalkeeper, but it was a lovely finish from Stuart Rose. That's the instinctive side of Stuart Rose you see as a centre forward, and why he scored the goals that he has done at the lower levels.
Yeah, you saw him chasing that one down, but there was two of them chasing it down. It might have been Stan Hewitt actually as well, following that one in, and Rose went round and it was a good finish in the end.
It's getting a bit silly, isn't it, for a pre-season game, this? They sent him off. Wow.
It's Callum Hickman.
Giving someone a reg. Do you know what, right? In that situation, have a bit of common sense as a referee and just say to the bench, look, if he carries on, I'm going to send him off, so take him off.
Yeah.
Have a bit of common sense. Salem now heading towards the byline, turns back infield there, low ball into Nanaya, turns on it and tries to get a shot away, does so, saved by the feet and then chipped home by Riley Cooper. Off the rebound from the trialist goalkeeper. It's 2-1 here. Allen, skipper in the centre circle, chips it now towards the penalty area and then down by Salem. It's with Casey Stewart, edge of the box now. Going to get a shot away and just driven in. Deflected off Stan Hewitt into the bottom corner. That is 2-2 here.
Commentary there with Nathan Conyer, newcomer to the commentary team, Whitby Town Media, alongside Liam Ryder and Paul Connolly, who joined me this evening to look back on that game and ahead to Tuesday's trip to West Auckland. Pretty encouraging, certainly early on, before the sending off, Paul.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's got to be said that one thing that we aren't going to lack over the coming months of the season is going to be heart, desire, and fight. And do you know what? Like, I think Matty Ayton referenced it to Lee Bullock, which he mentions in the interview we'll hear later on. But in terms of that game, we've seen more fight in that game than we probably saw over the course of the entirety of last season. Players were getting well stuck into it. They were sort of heads in, boots in, pretty much everything in that they could, and they scrapped for everything that they could. Within that, it wasn't maybe the highest quality game of football. It never generally is in pre-season, especially on what was a very sort of dry, bobbly and sticky pitch. But yeah, there were moments of quality nonetheless. The first goal that Stan Hewitt got, you've got to say props to Tommy Dowson, an absolutely outstanding through ball, I thought. He held his man off and just slipped it through beautifully. Hewitt got the right side of his man and utilised his strengths in terms of, that pace and that power to get around his man and fire the ball into the back of the net. And obviously the second goal, we've seen Stu Rose doing what Stu Rose does and what we expect he'll do over the course of the season. He's sniffing opportunities out. He'd played with the trialist goalkeeper last year and he knew that he has a bit of reach on those kicks and Whitby used that to advantage. He got it forward and managed to get it round a keeper who'd committed for Bridlington and just finished nicely into the back of the net. Obviously, you mentioned the red card that sort of altered the dynamic of the game. might be the first time I've seen a referee lose control of a friendly. But yeah, it was it was unnecessary, that red card. Don't get me wrong. For booking a player for walking away after a player's kicked it against his leg is quite frankly ludicrous. And if he's so desperate to send him off, just go to the bench and say, if I'm going to send him off, so take him off. But no, he decided he was going to give him the red card, and Whitby had to play the rest of the game with 10 men. And ultimately, there was a couple of, maybe shall we say, tired mistakes in there. It said a lot when the Whitby defenders were pretty much dead on the feet, laid on the back at full time. I think that sort of sums up how sort of blood and thunder the game was. It was very competitive and played in a fashion that you would expect a league game to be played in. So, all in all, a lot of positives, and it was made harder by going down to 10 men. But certainly with looking at what we've got in terms of the fight and the want to win in the side, I think we're going to be okay.
I like that. That's interesting, actually. But I know, Lee Bullock says in his interview that he wanted to replicate things for when the real stuff starts. He wanted a battle. He wanted it to be rough, and he got everything you would have normally had in an NPL game, including a mystifying refereeing decision. So that's always good practice. Liam, what are your thoughts on this new look side then? What's been added? What's a little bit different to what we had before?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, just to sort of go back to what you referenced there about Bully's interview, that was sort of why I had to throw in the question about it's a pre-season game, the referee doesn't matter, but it is equally good prep because, as we know all too well, you have 1 or 2 games across a league season where that happens, so at least it's good preparation, nice and early. But yeah, on the side itself, a lot of real positive signs what we've seen so far. It looks like it's going to be sort of a 3-5-2 formation or 5-3-2, depending on where you look at it. But the wing backs, particularly Stanley Hewitt, they've been really high up the pitch, and hence why he's got himself 2 goals in pre-season so far. So it's got potential to be a very sort of exciting team to watch, which would take obviously the organisation at the back as well, which we're showing signs of. I think we will get better defensively. But yeah, certainly real sort of positive signs there. I think we've got that good balance of that experience in youth now as well, and these good footballing players and the ones that can sort of do the dirty work. So yeah, I think we've got to be really happy with what we've seen so far. 2 difficult games for different reasons, and that's part of pre-season ultimately, isn't it? We've got the chance to sort of go to Mask, where I suppose preparation for an FA Cup type game you could get, if you get drawn against a Northern League side away from home where it's going to be difficult, in terms of a lot of conditions and things like that. And then, Bridlington, a team in the league below, but had a very good end to last season. So that was always going to be a tougher test, and we certainly got done. I'm expecting the same at West Auckland on Tuesday. Another newly promoted side then, but, league below us. And as much as it is pre-season, you want to sort of get these impressive results on board for the lower league side. So they'll probably have a good go at Whitby, and it's a chance for Whitby to sort of show what they're all about as well. But plenty of positives. Yes, Friday night got a bit messy in the end, but like I say, that's maybe not a bad thing to have that sort of game. The main thing is that no one's come out injured on the back of it, which I think really is the key thing that Lee Bullock's trying to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Brid, a good side, and as you said, they did have a really good end to last season. Free scoring side as well, so plenty for the defence to do. And it seems like on the whole, they stood up to that. Certainly when we had 11 men. Let's hear that interview. Liam speaking to the Whitby Town manager, Lee Bullock.
Well, Bully, the second pre-season out and over and done with now. Finished brilliant in Town 2, Whitby Town 2. Most importantly, more minutes in the tank.
Yeah, really great night's work. Like, results are irrelevant, but that was a proper game of football. It wasn't really a game of football. It was a 90-minute battle of 2 sets of lads hard at it. Both teams wanted to win. So yeah, it was a brilliant pre-season game from the point of view. It was pure fitness. Heading, tackling, fighting, scrapping, yellow cards, red cards, it had everything, so it's far better than rolling the ball around in a fake pre-season match. We'll get so much out of that. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Of course we'd have loved to win 2-0, but things happen, the game changes, and Brid have got themselves back into it. It was a really good game.
Yeah, and if it was a league game, a lot of people sort of look at the officiating, but I guess in a way, like you say, that it kind of prepares you, because sometimes you do get that throughout the league season, don't you? We have a referee that perhaps does lose that bit of control.
Yeah, well, the thinking behind Friday night games is the lads that new to this level have got to get their heads round coming from work, travelling a couple of hours to get to a game. So that's part of the Friday night thinking. Then you're thinking, yeah, you're going to come up against decisions that are completely wrong and go against you and kill you as an 11, which you did there. And yeah, they lost their heads a little bit, but at least now they've dealt with frustrations of what was a shocker of a second yellow card on Cal Hickman. The lads drove the ball at them from 2 yards, so it's a joke of a red card. He's probably going to miss a game now, through no fault of his own. But he's got to get on with it. And then from that point of view, 10 men got a real good shift. We've only got, let's say, 4 subs. So we're thinking there, do we change it? Do we hold on for a 2-0 win? Do we go super defensive? And we were like, no, sack it. Let's just stay as we are and make them work. Probably in a league game, yeah, we shore it up and we just see the game out, but it's not a league game, it's about fitness and getting the lads ready, which, like I say, I was happy with it. Good night's work.
Yeah, and so again, the sort of the back three wing backs again, and that system looks like it's really sort of being fruitful, particularly Stan Hewitt down this left-hand side.
Yeah, very good going forward. Like I say, he's got a great goal. He's powerful. He created some good chances second half. Defensively, I thought they tested us. They were big and strong. We give a lot of free kicks away, so the 3 centre halves have had to head and defend for 90 minutes, and probably for 80 odd we've done it well until we tired at the death. But again, that's what it's all about. Then 5, the 4, 5, whatever it is, they'll probably play the vast majority of games to get an understanding of each other. So decent night from him. It's a brand, just sent him in there. They're a brand new team. The fight, and in fact, one of the lads, Matty, who's kit man, he basically the fighting on the edge of the box there when all the lads are getting involved. His comment was, I've seen more fight there than I did last season. So I take mass heart from that, because that's a group of lads who don't really know each other, barring 4 or 5 training sessions and a WhatsApp group, fighting for the cause. So that's all we ask for, and then we'll put the quality of the training on top and hopefully make a decent team.
Yeah, and another new addition, of course, have got that second goal as well, Stu Rose. Sort of the first real glimpse I've had to sort of see what he's all about there, being first to the ball edge of the box and a tidy finish.
Yeah, I thought again, in a battle like that, he absolutely worked his socks off. His age, like you say, coming from work, he's up there on his own. In the last 20 minutes, he's got down 10 men, and he's running back full pelt. That attitude that he brings, it spread through the team, and that's the kind of attitude that spread. I thought he was excellent tonight. Even if he hadn't scored, the way he put himself about, his hold-up play, brilliant. So yeah, it's great he gets his goal, because that's what everyone's going to look at. He scored all these goals, can he do it here? Of course he can, but if you watch his work, he puts himself about, different class.
Yeah, and then just looking ahead, the next pre-season game, another one on the lights on Tuesday up at West Auckland Town. Again, probably a very similar type of game in terms of potentially having that bit of battle and that edge that you probably want.
Yeah, it will be. That's why we've put them in. Like, we come here and Brid want to beat us. We want to beat Brid. We'll go to West. They'll want to put their marker down. They've just been promoted, haven't they? They'll want to take a scalp. It'll be probably a similar pitch to this one, and then we look forward as well to the following Saturday when we get on our pitch, which I've had a little look tonight on the wheel. Looks unbelievable, but that's what pre-season is, just dealing with all the different things that come at you and ultimately fitness and getting good habits.
This is the Codcast.
That's Lee Bullock speaking to Liam after Friday night's game at Bridlington, and Paul caught up with one of the goal scorers. He broke his duck on Friday evening, newcomer Stu Rose, and he spoke to Paul after the final whistle.
So Stu, a 2-2 draw here at Bridlington Town this evening, but more importantly for yourself, off the mark in Whitby colours.
Yeah, buzzing to get my first goal. I kind of had a good chance in the first half that I kind of squandered half. Like, you know, I was through on goal. I should have hit it, and I didn't. But second half, yeah, it was. I was through on goal. I couldn't miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lovely ball over, wasn't it, from the trialist goalkeeper, and then, you know, the keeper's committed, and you've sort of just read it pretty much straight away.
Yeah, I know the trialist goalkeeper pretty well. I know he's got a good shift on him, and I thought he could well reach. And as soon as it was going over the defender's head, I thought I'm in here. And then it was just a case of having a bit of composure and putting it away.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a tough whole match for a pre-season game out there, wasn't it? You know, both sides very physical in the battle.
Yeah, from the get-go, it had a bit of everything. I mean, there was a lot of fight, a lot of battle, but that's what we want. That's what we want in pre-season. Bully and Denny have drilled it into us. You know, it's not going to be easy this season, and we need it. We need games like this that are going to test us. And obviously, unfortunately, to go down to 10 men, I thought we were in control and would have gone on to win the game. But obviously, look, this is pre-season. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, and I mean that's obviously disappointing to lose a man, and you don't really want to in a pre-season game. But as well, it does give a different dynamic to the game, doesn't it? It gives you that sort of that kind of getting used to battling in those situations when it does come round in a league game.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why we've got to stick together. I think Bully hit the nail on the head. Obviously, if it was a league game, we'd have maybe set up a little bit differently and maybe closed out the game at 2-0. But obviously, it's not. It's pre-season. It's about minutes in the legs. It's about battling, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep going at it, and obviously, we got opened up a couple of times, and they've managed to squeeze 2 goals late on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously pre-season continues midweek. It's a trip to West Auckland, and another game where you'll sort of be expecting to have a battle with it against a team that'll be looking to put the mark on things after just coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've just been promoted. Obviously, they want to put themselves about, especially against a team that's in a division higher, like everybody does. And obviously, I mean, it's a smaller pitch, it's tighter, they've always been a battling team. It'll be a tough game.
Yeah. And in terms of the dressing room, then obviously a couple of games together now, you're all still sort of learning. It is a brand new group, but it's good to see, you know, it's starting to look like something already, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had 6-7 training sessions, couple of games now. The lads are brilliant. We've all had great crack. Everyone's bonded well, and obviously I think that's just going to get better. I think we know what it's about. We're a group that's obviously just come in, and we're all willing to battle and do everything we can for each other on that pitch, and and see where we go.
Yeah, because you look around the group and there's no real egos, is there? It's a very sort of down to earth dressing room, and lads who just want to graft and work hard.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Whitby's about. Everybody wants to watch a team that battles and works hard for the badge, and that's exactly what every single one of them. Whether there's 11 players on that pitch or the lads who come on or not, we're a team.
This is the Codcast.
That's Stu Rose speaking to Paul after the game. Good finish. He's got a good reputation, Paul. Stu Rose scored a number of goals in the Northern League last season. I mean, is he your typical diminutive finisher, or does he have that physical side as well? And who would be the sort of striker that would be ideally placed to play alongside him?
That's a good question. In terms of the physicality, he doesn't give much up. Put it that way. He was winning headers the other night. He was battling and grappling with the centre half. So yeah, in terms of that physicality, I think he'll do very well. Would you maybe want another big lad up there to win a bit more of those headers and let him sort of take on the movement side of things and try and get those runs beyond? It's a question is for sort of Lee Bullock and Denny Ingram to answer, I guess. But in terms of what he brings at the moment, I'm really happy in the fact that he does work hard and he does sort of win. He does win a few headers and he does sort of cause problems for defenders. And in terms of what you're going to pair with him, I think that's an interesting one, because you can go one way or the other with it, really.
That's interesting. We'll see how we do it then. So, in recent seasons we've had the 4-2-3-1. It looks like it's going to be wing backs this time around, the 3-5-2. So it will be a striker alongside him, 2 up. So that's that in itself will probably perk a few fans up. Let's talk a bit more about midfield and start that off by hearing from Adam Gell, who spoke to Nathan after Friday's game.
So, tough pre-season game against a much more physical team than last week, but yeah. So how do you think it's gone today?
Yeah, I thought they really tested us. You could see they were well up for it, which is a good test for pre-season. And I think well welcome from us all. Really, we want to be. You need to be challenged in pre-season. Physically, we have to be on our game. I thought we controlled large parts of the game, large parts of the first half. Obviously, the sending off changed it. First half, I felt as though we were really in control. Played some good stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of still to work on. A bit of sharpness needs to come through. Bit more understanding between the lads, but I think you can see there we've got a good foundation to build on. Obviously, two goals, nice to score, but then it was just unfortunate letting 2 goals in at the other end. But like I say, I think the sending off had a bit of play in that.
Yeah, so you mentioned the sending off there. It was a bit of a strange sending off because I think Hickman was sort of trying to walk away and the ball's booted at him, but it is what it is. But obviously it's a different test being a man down, and it kind of sets you up for the season in another way, just for preparations.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's part of football. It could happen during the season. It probably will happen. So you've got to learn how to react to that. But I think, from what the manager said there, he didn't really want to just play out for the result. It was more of keep the lads on who were on and get the minutes in. So, but absolutely, you're gonna have to deal with being a man short at times, or even under pressure off teams who are going to keep the ball, and you've got to learn how to play the game when you're in control of the ball, but when you're on the back foot as well. So yeah, it was a good test in terms of that as well.
So you mentioned before about, obviously there's going to be understanding that sort of needs to gel between the players. Obviously you're one of the only ones that have stayed from last season. Well, the only one. How's that sort of been?
Yeah, I can see straight away the lads straight away they want to. They want to come in and make a mark on the team, and they've got a good already in the short space of time. They're trying to get a good understanding of each other, and it's gelling quite nicely, I think. But it'll take time. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. That's what the friendlies are for the training sessions. But I can tell from the lads' attitudes and what the lads are doing that it will only be a matter of time before things start to click. There's a few lads out there who've played with each other before, and they've probably got good understandings. But yeah, it's got to come together as a full team, and it hasn't yet. Obviously, you saw there we still had bits where it wasn't quite where it needs to be. But I'm confident that we'll get there.
And obviously after last season there was a big chunk of it where you were sort of injured yourself and had to come back. How are you feeling now in yourself with your chest?
To tell you the truth, I've struggled since then. Been a strange one. I've never really had something like that where obviously I've picked up niggles and knocks and a couple of long-term ones with my knee and stuff like that, but when you've got my chest like that, it's just catching your breath and stuff like that. So I have struggled with it, but tonight I felt as though I went out there and I felt quite strong, quite fit. I thought my fitness was pretty good out there, so I'm hoping that's the turning point, and now I can push on and get match fit where I can start playing 90 minutes, which, like I say, I haven't done for a long time. Last season, towards the back end of last season, I missed a fair few games, which is frustrating, but I'm hoping I'm there now.
Yeah, well, me and Paul were saying earlier that you looked physically fit. You were covering, I think, 3 positions at one point in the midfield. So you're looking back to your normal self in our eyes, don't worry.
Yeah, well, we'll see after 90 minutes, but yeah, I felt as though I could have went on there and carried on with the same pace and intensity. Obviously, there's all the lads there need the minutes. There's lots of good competition, which is only good for me, good for the rest of the team, and no doubt everyone will be pushing for a place come the start of the season.
The Codcast. all things Whitby Town FC.
That's Adam Gell speaking to Nathan Conyer after Friday's draw at Bridlington. Now, we spoke a little bit about Tommy Dowson, Liam, and he played a through ball for the opening goal, so he impressed. Jack Kilpatrick as well, and obviously Gelly himself with all his experience on there. I mean, how's the midfield looking? Do you think there's likely to be many additions there, or do you think they're broadly happy? But of course they also brought in the likes of Kay and Reid in there as well. Do you think we're okay for midfielders at the moment, Liam?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Ben Turner as well, of course.
Yeah.
But there's that good balance of experience and that youth, and you sort of look at the likes of Jack and Tommy, who maybe sort of think as fringe players. Well, I know they're playing lower league opposition, but what we've seen so far, especially at Brid, there's that hunger and desire to track back, and you kind of look thinking, well, is there actually scope they could break into the first team, potentially starting a bit sooner than we maybe sort of expect. Good to have those options there, but they're certainly showing all of the attributes that Lee Bullock asked for in terms of that effort. And it's all well and good just working hard, but like I said, tracking back, getting tackles well timed, and also being able to break the line as Tommy Dowson did for that first goal on Friday night. So, yeah, I think we're well covered there, because I know that's, we've had sort of experienced heads with the likes of Lewis Hawkins and Adam Gell, of course, over the last few years. But last season it sort of became a bit apparent that maybe we're just lacking in that midfield area quite a bit, in terms of sort of too much getting to the defensive stage when it could have been broken up sooner. But it does feel like we've got different types of players there. Cal Hickman, who's a bit more of a attack-minded player, he also wants to work and do a bit of tracking back as well when required. So yeah, I think again we've talked about the defence earlier in the attack, but yeah, I think midfield it's certainly it's looking good. It's a small squad, don't get me wrong, but I think midfield especially, we've actually got quite a few options there, particularly with this formation that we're probably looking to adapt. There's no reason at all why that can't be much stronger this season. And I get that you sort of look from the outside thinking, well, Hawkins has gone, other Harley Dawson was obviously regular in the last season as well, but there's potentially, we've got maybe sort of an all-round better midfield of all of the players bought in. Time will tell the league, and hopefully they're all up to speed with it. But yeah, again, certainly looking from the first couple of matches, plenty of reasons to be positive, and I hope that for the for Tommy and Jack, as local lads, it'd be great to see them as regulars in the first team, and I don't see any reason why they can't do that.
What are you expecting from West Auckland, Paul?
It's difficult to say, really. They were a good side in the Northern League last year. And I know that obviously, I think the back end of last season, Lee Bullock was maybe looking at trying to bring one or two in from West Auckland to just try and shore the squad up in the running, but obviously never happened in the end. So obviously they do have players there that can step up, you would think. I know one or two of them have left after the end of the season. The likes of Leo Robinson, who was a big player for them last year, he's gone to Gisborne Town and made his sort of homecoming, shall we say, there, Mark Robinson's son. So he's one big player that they are lacking. But yeah, they've been a very good Northern League side for the last couple of years, and you tend to find that there are always sort of two or three probably good sides in the Northern League that probably can step up and do a job at the next level, and they've certainly been one of them for quite a while now. So yeah, they'll probably do okay. I think we'll be expecting another battle. They'll want to put their stamp on the game and make their mark on Whitby. They'll see it as a quote unquote, with no disrespect to them, maybe a bigger club coming to them, and they'll want to take a bit of a scalp, even if it is pre-season. So yeah, it's going to be another tricky game, and another one that Whitby are going to have to battle hard in and work hard to make sure they get something out of. But yeah, I think it'll be a tough one, but one that Whitby's players will be relishing again.
Fantastic. We look forward to that on Tuesday evening, 7:45pm kickoff over there in West Auckland. If you can't make it to County Durham, make sure you tune in to thisisthecoast.co.uk. Click the Whitby badge on there, and you can hear the dulcet tones of Messrs Connolly and Ryder there, as well as the rest of our media team making the trip up to the northeast for that one as pre-season continues to develop, and we will bring you all the latest news here, of course, on the Codcast. Thank you to Paul and Liam. as well as the colleague Nathan, and our interviewees Lee Bullock, Adam Gell and Stu Rose. We'll be back later on in the week for another Codcast, but for me it's bye for now.